A very good morning to one and all. And today concept is about putting all this together. And what the concept is, in the last classes, I explained you about how to reduce the unit productions, how to reduce the useless variables or useless productions, and how to reduce the nullable productions, right? So how to put all this together at in one grammar. That's the concept today. That's the concept. We named it as in putting all this together. And here what's the theorem of this concept is, always G is in context free grammar, right? So if G is a context free grammar for a language, and it contains at least one string other than the epsilon, then there is an another context free grammar where we can name it as in G1. And here these both the G and G dash are should be equivalent except excluding epsilon. And the G1 should has no epsilons, the G1 should has no unit productions, and the G1 should has no useless productions. And that's the theorem of this statement. And what's the theorem of this statement meaning is, for example, if you are having in context free grammar, and if you know how to eliminate all these three, and if you know how to recognize the syntaxes based on the syntax of all these three, and then it is very easy for you eliminating and getting an modified grammar G1, right? Finally what you need to show is, from the grammar G you are showing that G1, and grammar G consisting of the epsilons, and G1 should not accept the epsilons. That means you should exclude the epsilons for the G1. So that's the thing, that's the statement of this concept, putting all this together. And what the algorithm here is, and after knowing the statement of the theorem, then you need to prove it, right? So for proving this, and what the steps that we are following here, only three steps we are following here. We are following the algorithm of the epsilon productions, we are following how to eliminate the algorithm, that is, or removing an algorithm for removing the epsilon productions, an algorithm for removing the unit productions, and algorithm for removing the useless productions. And these are the things that we are implementing here in algorithm. And finally the order is most important. First, initially you need to check it out for the epsilons, then removing the epsilons, then you need to check it out for the units, and then removing unit, then you need to check it out the useless, right? First step, second step, and third step, the order should be important here. What the step 1, what the step 2, and what the step 3 is, right? And you need to implement all these algorithms at one place, and finally you need to get an output. And hence you should prove that L of z1 is equal to L of z minus epsilon. And this is a very simple theorem for putting all this together. And in further and further classes I will give you some exercise problems, and where that exercise problems contains this concept, putting all this together, then you can easily understand how to implement this concept. And the step 1 is unit sorry, epsilon production, removing epsilons, and the step 2 is removing units, and then step 3 is removing useless. Don't forget the order of eliminating the step by step procedure. And now coming to the another concept is normal forms. The most important concept is about a normal forms in unit number 3, because in context free grammars we are having two types of a normal forms. In that, first of all we need to know what the why the normal forms are, and then what the types of normal forms are, and coming to an type 1, and what the type 1 definition is, and how to check the type 1 normal form, right? And how to convert the grammar into the type 1 normal form. And these are the things I'm going to explain in today's session. And in the next class I will explain you about the next type of the normal form, another normal form. Only two normal forms we are having here in the context free grammars. One is CNF and another one is in GNF. First, initially what you need to know is what is an normal form and why the normal forms are. And then after knowing this, then you need to know what the types of normal forms are. And here why the normal forms are means, if all the productions of the grammar could be expressed in same forms, that means it becomes easy to design the algorithms by using these grammars, or it becomes easy to show the proofs and the properties, right? Here what I am doing here is I am minimizing or simplifying the context free grammar by using this normal forms. That means I am normalizing the context free grammars, and whatever the context free grammar I am having as an in the form of an input, by applying the syntax of each and every type, I am converting into the normal form, and then I am normalizing it in an uh, what we can say that minimized context free grammar. And if in that we're having two types of a normal forms, one is in CNF and another one is in GNF. And the normal forms are of two types, CNF and GNF. And the what the abbreviation of the CNF is Chomsky normal form. CNF is in Chomsky normal form. And here, what the Chomsky normal form is, let Z be a context free grammar for some where it the language should be excluded with an epsilon. And what the definition of this is, and here, uh, first of all, by taking an input in the form of the context free grammar, you need to check it out. You need to simplify the grammar, and then you need to go for the normalization, right? Then from the question, which type of normalization in the question it is there, then you need to do that type of a normalization here, right? So every grammar we are representing with ng, and the grammar is said to be an CNF. CNF is nothing but a Chomsky normal form. And when we can say that it is a Chomsky normal form is it is having a syntax. And what the syntax means, if all its productions are in the form of a tends to bc or a tends to a, that means here all should be an variables, and in one rule it should be an only derive and terminal. Either it should derive a single terminal, or either it should derive an uh, at most two variables, right? So only at most two variables are should be there at the right hand side of the variable, or only one terminal. We need to get the given context free grammar into this format, into this form. That means into this production. This is the syntax that we need to use for whenever we need to convert the grammar into the Chomsky normal form. And also, first initially itself, whenever we are taking an input, you need to check it out if the grammar is having the useless symbols or unit productions or epsilon productions. If any uselesses are there, then you need to remove those by applying the algorithm of the useless symbols. And if there is any unit productions, you need to remove the unit productions by applying the algorithm of unit productions. And if there is any epsilon productions, you need to remove those epsilon productions just by applying the algorithm of the epsilon productions, right? What the thing is, before going to convert it into an CNF, first you need to remove all those. Then if the grammar consisting of any one of these means, you need to modify that grammar, and you need to eliminate all those, and you need to give an modified grammar g dash, and for the g dash you need to convert it into the CNF format. And now from the definition itself, I get that what the syntax of the Chomsky normal form is. Syntax of the Chomsky normal form. And why we are normalizing means we are minimizing the length of the grammars, minimizing the length of the productions, only for improving the efficiency. For improving the efficiency, we are doing the normalizations, and here two types of normalizations are taking place. And one is an Chomsky normal form, and the second one is an Greeback normal form, CNF and GNF. And this is the syntax of the Chomsky normal form. And the syntax is we're having two productions in the syntax with the same variable. And if the variable the first syntax is variable tends to at most two variables should be there, not more than the two, only two are accessible here, and two are acceptable here. And a tends to a, either it only one terminal should be derived from this variable. That's the syntax of this Chomsky normal form. And is the grammar is CNF, and here we're having the grammar. We need to first initially it is an checklist in the means, first of all we need to verify whether the grammar consisting of any of the three. And The grammar is E tends to E plus T or T star A for open parenthesis E closed parenthesis, or IA or IB or I0 or I1. And the second production is for the T tends to T star F open parenthesis E closed parenthesis IA, IB, IO, I1. And F tends to open parenthesis E closed parenthesis IA, IB, I0, I1. I tends to A or B or IA, IB, I0 or I1. Right. So you need to check it out whether the grammar is having any of these three, either it consisting of epsilons, units or useless. And every rule, when how we can say that it is an useless or useful means, if the variable is giving the terminal directly, it is deriving an terminal, then we can say that it is an useful symbols. See here how I am going to check it out. Just see. First, no, first I need to check it out for the epsilons. Is there any epsilon productions in the grammar? Is there any epsilon productions in the grammar? No, because no production consisting of the epsilon rule. And then you need to check it out for the units. Units means variable tends to variable, like A tends to B. That's the syntax of the unit. Is there any productions like that? No productions are there. So step 1 is completed, step 2 is completed. Now you need to check it for the useless symbols. This is somewhat difficult because it takes some time for checking out if the grammar is complex. Right. So how to check it out whether it is an useless symbols or useful symbols means, see, if only you need to check it off these variables E, T, F, and I, because from if E derived and where terminal means wherever you're having an E, it should derive and terminal. If E T derives or T generates the terminal means wherever we're having the T, it should generate the terminals. If F generates the terminal means wherever you're having the F, it generates the terminals. If I having the terminals means wherever you're having the I, it should derive the or it should generate the terminals, right? So for checking out E, T, and F and I is enough. And see in the rules of the E, IA, IB, I0, I1. Here I'm having I, here I is there, no, I is directly deriving A, B. That means I is directly deriving the rules A, B. If I put A or if I put B, from these rules, I'm getting the strings. And E, in the place of E, I can choose either E plus T or T star F. Right. So in the place of T, I can choose these rules. If I is deriving or I is generating the terminals, then if I put I in the place of T also, I'm generating the terminals, right? So as the same process you need to proceed for the second rule, second production also. T, in the place of T, T, if I put IA or IB, I0, I is deriving the terminals with A and B directly with terminals A and B, right? So I can derive in the place of F also. If in the place of F, if I put IA, IB, I0, I1 also, I'm getting the terminals. So T is generating, E is generating, same as F. Here also FE, in the place of E, if I put E plus T, in the place of E, if I put IA, IB, or in the place of T, if I put again IA, IB, or. So again I'm generating the terminals for the F also. And for coming to the I is I am substituting every I in the place of every variable. So I is directly deriving or directly generating the terminals A and B. So no useless symbols are there. Everything is an useful everything is an useful symbols, useful variables. So, and initially we need to check it we need to check it out like this. It is a checklist, and after taking the input in the form of the context free grammar, you need to do this step number 1, and then go for the no, conversion from grammar into CNF. And here, and now the concept is how to convert a grammar into CNF. And after knowing, after checking out the checklist, Now the concept is how to convert a grammar into CNF. And here we need to make an assumptions. In that assumptions, G is in context free grammar, right? G has no epsilon productions, G has no unit productions, G has no useless symbols, right? So for every terminal A, small a, that appears in the body of a production and where it creates an unique variable that should says XA with a production XA tends to A. With the example, it is very clear to you to understand what the point number one is. That means if you're having a terminal A and the body, that means that the terminal A is appearing to the body of the production. Then how to create the A means you need to give that A to this X like this. That means it should be a unique variable and you need to say that it is XA. And you need to give write the production for that in the form of XA tends to A. And I define this production, right? So you need to place all other instances of A in G by XA. Wherever you are having an A, that should be represented with an XA, right? So now all productions will be in one of the following two forms. What what those means? Either a variable tends to at most two variables, or a variable tends to directly it is an terminal, right? The k should greater than or equal to 3, greater than or equal to 2. Compulsory it should be only, it should consisting of more than 2, more than two variables. And here see how I am replacing each production of the form. For example, I'm having a tends to b1 b2 b3 so on bk, right? Just I am making an assumption that b this b1 b2 to bk it is c1, and now and this c1 becomes b2 and b3 to bk becomes c2. With the example it is very clear to you all by understanding, and by just by seeing this you can't understand. And with the example I will show you how to convert the grammar into CNF. And let's see but initially you need to know the theorem and the assumptions and the syntaxes of this. So that's why I'm explaining all this. So first I am dividing this into a tends to b1 c1, and now I need to, this is a new variable I define, and I need to write the production for this new variable. C1 tends to B2 C2, right? So like that, CK minus 3 tends to some BK minus 2 to CK minus 2. CK minus 2 is the new production. So I need to define the variable for this new variable. Ck minus 2 is bk minus 1 bk, like that you need to define. That means here c1 is a new variable, you need to define the production for the c1. And in the c1 if you are having any new variables means there again you need to define the production for that new variable. Like that you need to do until it should end, no new variables are to be found out. Now see with example, it is very easy for you to understand. And don't get confused here. First what the thing you need to know is you need to know the syntax of the Chomsky normal form. And also you need to know how to eliminate the epsilon productions, useless symbols, and the unit productions. So if you know these three means, along with those three you should know the syntax of the CNF means it is very easy for you for converting from grammar into CNF. Now let's see with an example. Please make a note of this example. My input is an context free grammar, right? What my grammar is? My grammar is G. G is an grammar here. My grammar G consisting of the productions like S tends to AS or BABC or BABC. For A we're having two rules, and for S we're having two rules, and for A tends to A1 or 0 A1 or 0 1, and A is having three rules, and B tends to 0B or 0. B is having two rules. C tends to 1C or 1. So these are the rules that we're having in the given grammar. That means the S productions are
S is having two rules. A production sir, A is having three rules. B production sir, B is having two rules. And C production sir, C is having two rules. Now let's check it out. Whether the grammar is having any epsilons? No. By seeing itself, we can recognize that whether the grammar consisting of the epsilon productions or not. No epsilons are there in the given grammar J. And is there any unit productions? Unit in the sense A tends to be like that. Capital A tends to capital B. And just by seeing the grammar, by seeing itself in the given grammar, we can recognize that whether is there any units or not. And no unit productions are there. We are not having any such type of productions in the given grammar. Now, the third one is you need to check it out for whether every variable is deriving or where every variable is generating an strings. And let's check it out. This takes some time. And s is deriving a string or not. If here I'm having s, right? Is s is deriving the string or not? S tends to a is deriving 0 1, and b and a and c are having zeros and ones, right? So everything we are generating, that means every variable is a generated variable, because no useless symbols are there here. No useless symbols are there here, everything is a useful symbol. So after checking out, now we are converting the given grammar into cnf. Now initially for zeros and ones, 0 and 1 are the terminals, right? So you should in the given grammar, this as is okay, but this rule is not okay for the s, because only where we should have at most two, only two variables should be acceptable, but here we're having four variables. This should be not acceptable, so we need to convert it, keep it aside. And here a1, a and terminal, this terminal is not acceptable, so this rule is also not acceptable. 0 a1, again this rule is also not acceptable. 0 1, this also not acceptable. 0 b, this also not acceptable. 0 acceptable. 1 c, this not acceptable. 1 acceptable. What the syntax is, either your rule should be like this, either your production should be s tends to 0 or should be b tends to 0 or c tends to 1. Only these three are acceptable from the given grammar. Now what I need to do is I need to convert the remaining all productions of these variables into an cnf, right? First, initially what I'm doing here is just I'm making an assumption that just by choosing with a new variable like x0, because for 0 and 1, in the place of this one I need to rename, right? I need to replace it. So just by making an assumption that 0, I am deriving an x0 with an 0, because for to which terminal you are defining a new variable, that should be represented like this at the suffix. And x1 for 1, let us assume that x0, because the terminals are zeros and ones, and initially itself I defined a new variable with an x0 and x1. So wherever you are having an 0, just you keep it an x0. Wherever you are having an 1, just you keep it as an x1, right? So let's see. S tends to, I am not doing anything for this as. It is in the form of an cnf, and I am doing for this ba bc. Now I am writing by1, because I am choosing another variable in the form of y1, and I replaced y1 in the place of this abc. Now what the y1 is? Y1 is a, y2. What the y2 is? bc. See, now everything is in the form of an cnf. That's the thing I need to do here. That's the conversion I need to implement here. Just to write at most two variables at the right hand side of the production, you need to introduce a new variables like this, and to which variable you introduce it, and for that variable you need to write the production. If not, the production gets dead, sorry, the variable gets dead, and finally introducing a new variable is also gets an useless thing. So by1, what the y1 is? A, y2. What the y2 is? bc. So finally This thing is completed. And now a tends to, in the place of 1 I need to use this x1. In the place of 0 I need to use x0. So wherever I'm having 1, I place a x1 x0, and actually it is x0 a1, and now that a1 is given to the y3, and y3 is a new another variable I introduced here. And let's see what the y3 is. A x1, I think you got it. Actually x0 a x1, because here we're having three variables but only two variables are acceptable. That's why what I did is I introduced a new variable y3 for the a x1. Is it clear now? x0 x1. Now b, and don't write x0 for these terminals. Only with the combination of variables, wherever you're having the terminals, there only you need to replace x zeros and x ones. If you are having directly in terminal, no need to write the x zeros and x ones. So 0b, that is x0b or 0, x1c or 1, right? All productions are of the form a tends to bc or a tends to a. This is the format of, this is the way of converting the given grammar into Chomsky normal form. And please make a note of this example. I am giving you time. Please make a note of this example, all of you. If you have any doubts, you can ask, please. This is the most important concept of normal forms. We're having two types of normal forms. One is an Chomsky normal form and another one is an Greibach normal form. And this is the concept of Chomsky normal form. If you know the syntax, put a heading syntax and note down the syntax for the Chomsky normal form. This is a syntax for Chomsky normal form, right? And after writing the syntax, then put a heading example and note down the grammar g, and then same whatever the slide I am showing to you, same as it is, write down the example solution for the grammar. What the solution is, to convert it into the, to convert the given grammar into Chomsky normal form. That's the thing I show you here. Please make a note of this example, and if you have any doubts you can ask. Please message in the chat box. I will respond to those questions. Any doubts to anyone? Anyone of you respond, please. Any doubts to anyone? I need a response from you. Nothing is there in this concept to get in the form of this syntax, to get the format in the form of the CNF in like in these two productions. Just you are introducing the new variables and just replacing in the place of, in the place of that. That's it. Nothing we did here, nothing logic is there. Introducing a new variable like ny1 and y2 and y3, and giving the production for what the y1 is and what the y2 is and what the y3 is. That's it we done here. Initially itself we assume that x0 and x1 for the terminals 0 and 1, and for the remaining we choose another variable like y1 and y2 and y3. That's the thing we did here. Nothing logic is there and nothing complex procedure is there. Just to get in the, to get the grammar in the format of a tends to bc or a tends to a, we introduce all the new variables and we give the productions for those new variables, and which should be in the form of the CNF. That's the thing that we did here. Nothing logic is there. Very simple concept, Chomsky normal form. And here we are having another thing. What the thing is, See here we're having a point, but the normal form of the productions is violated if you didn't check it out. All these means, if those are violated means, then the grammar is not in CNF. This is also an most important point you need to remember when we are converting the grammar into the CNF, right? And now, no, make a note of this example. And I think you all understand this example number one, and I'm giving you example number two for doing the practice session. Please make a note of this example number two. And in the next class, I will explain you the other type of normal form, that is in Greeback normal form. It is somewhat complex while comparing to the CNF, because complex is nothing is there. There you need to apply some lemmas. First, initially you need to apply lemma 1 and then apply lemma 2, and finally you need to convert it into the GNF format. There also we're having a syntax for the GNF, and to get each and every rule in the grammar, that means to get each and every production in the format of GNF, you need to apply all and all those things. First, initially you need to apply all those things, then you need to convert it into the format of GNF. So it is by applying the lemmas, it may become, it may uh, little bit complex to you while comparing with the conversion of grammar to CNF, right? We're having two types of conversions, grammar to CNF and grammar to ZNF. And we're having two types of normal forms, CNF and GNF. And we're having two types of syntaxes for CNF. CNF we're having in syntax, and for ZNF we're having in syntax. So every grammar, what we're doing here is, from the given grammar, we're converting it to in the format of the, in the we're getting into the syntax of the CNF, and we're getting the given grammar into the syntax of the ZNF. That's the thing we are doing here. Nothing is there. Nothing procedures or nothing algorithms that we're not following here. Only by knowing the syntax, just we're normalizing the given grammar G. And please make a note of this example. And I will explain that GNF in the next class.